At this stage in your life, you know when the energy in a room shifts. You've lived enough to recognize a mask when you see one. They think because you are kind, you are naive. They think because you stay silent, you don't notice the patterns. But as a chosen one, your silence isn't weakness, it's observation. Today, we are pulling back the curtain on their true intentions because you deserve to know exactly what you've been sensing. Chosen one, there is a heaviness in your spirit that you have been carrying for a very long time. It is not the kind of tiredness that goes away after a long night of sleep. It is a deep and ancient exhaustion that settles in your bones and weighs down your chest. You have been the strong one for as long as you can remember. You have been the pillar that holds up the roof while everyone else seeks shelter under your strength. You have been the fixer and the counselor and the provider. You have given pieces of yourself to people who never thought to ask if you had anything left to give. You look back at the last 20 or 30 years of your life and you see a landscape of sacrifice. You see the businesses you helped build with your own hands. You see the family crises you navigated with a steady hand while your own heart was breaking. You see the friends you supported through their darkest hours. You gave your time and your money and your emotional energy because that is who you are. You have a heart that was designed to love and to heal. But in the process of caring for everyone else, you often forgot to care for yourself. You told yourself that if you just loved them enough, they would eventually return that love. You told yourself that if you were patient enough, they would eventually grow up and treat you with respect. But now you are standing at a crossroads. You have reached a season in your life where the veil is being lifted. You are seeing people clearly for the first time. You are realizing that some people do not want to be healed. Some people do not want to grow. They only want to take. They look at your kindness and they do not see a gift. They see an opportunity. They look at your patience and they do not see a virtue. They see a lack of boundaries. They think that because you are kind, you must be naive. They think that because you have forgiven them so many times, you must not understand what they are doing to you. They are wrong. You see everything. You notice the way the energy in the room shifts when certain people walk in. You hear the tone of voice that does not match the polite words they are speaking. You feel the coldness behind their smiles. You have lived long enough to recognize a mask when you see one. You know the difference between someone who makes a mistake and someone who is playing a game. For years, you suppressed this intuition. You told yourself you were being too critical or too sensitive. You made excuses for their bad behavior because you wanted to believe the best in them. That season is over. The silence you are holding right now is different from anything you have felt before. In the past, your silence might have been born of fear or confusion. You stayed quiet to keep the peace. You stayed quiet because you did not want to rock the boat. You swallowed your truth to make others comfortable. But this new silence is not about keeping the peace for them. It is about protecting the peace within you. This is not the silence of a victim. This is the silence of a king or a queen who is surveying their kingdom and realizing that there are traitors at the gate. You are quiet now because you are done explaining yourself to people who are committed to misunderstanding you. You are quiet because you have realized that your words are pearls and you have been casting them before people who do not know their value. You feel isolated right now, but you must understand that this isolation is not a punishment. It is a form of protection. You feel alone because you have outgrown the environments that used to contain you. You have evolved past the surface-level drama and the petty competitions that consume the people around you. You are vibrating at a frequency of truth, and they are still operating in a frequency of manipulation. This is why you feel so exhausted when you are around them. Your spirit is allergic to their deception. You are trying to breathe clean air while they are pumping smoke into the room. It takes a tremendous amount of energy to maintain your composure when you know you are being lied to. It takes a warrior's strength to remain kind when you are being taken for granted. You have spent years building a life of integrity, and now you are looking around and wondering if anyone else values honor the way you do. Do not let them convince you that you are bitter. Do not let them gaslight you into thinking that you are the one with the problem. The heavy feeling in your gut is your discernment working perfectly. It is God telling you that the season for access is closing. You are pulling back your energy not because you are mean, but because you finally understand your own worth. You are realizing that access to you is a privilege and not a right. They think you are naive because you are not fighting them. They expect you to yell or to argue or to engage in their drama. When you do not react, they think they have won. They think your lack of reaction means you do not know what is happening. Let them think that. Let them believe you are foolish. Let them believe you are blind. Their underestimation of you is your greatest advantage. While they are busy laughing at your kindness, you are busy building a wall of protection that they will never be able to cross again. You are in a sacred time of withdrawal. You are gathering your strength. You are calling back all the pieces of your soul that you left in the hands of ungrateful people. This silence is the sound of you healing. It is the sound of you coming home to yourself. You have spent decades pouring out, and now it is time for you to be filled up. You are not naive. You are awake, and there is nothing more powerful than a chosen one who has finally opened their eyes to the truth. Chosen one, there is a profound reason why you have faced so much opposition from people who should have been on your team. It is confusing when you look at your own heart and see only good intentions while the world hands you betrayal in return. You have spent nights staring at the ceiling and wondering why your kindness seems to attract parasites instead of partners. You have wondered why you are the one who always has to be the bigger person. You have wondered why you are the one who always has to swallow your pride and keep the peace. It feels unfair. It feels like you are being punished for having a good heart. But I need you to understand that this struggle is not a punishment. It is a prerequisite. You are currently walking through a spiritual refining fire that few people will ever experience. The reason you feel so out of place is that you are being prepared for a position that requires absolute clarity of vision. You cannot lead people if you do not understand human nature. You cannot hold weight if you have not been tested under pressure. The universe does not trust the naive with power. It trusts the wise. And wisdom is not something you can learn in a book. Wisdom is only earned through the scars of experience. It is earned by looking evil in the face and choosing to remain good. It is earned by seeing the betrayal coming and choosing to forgive anyway, because you refuse to let their darkness dim your light. Think about the story of the man who had to wait until his later years to step into his true promise. There is an ancient account of a man named Caleb who was promised a mountain. He saw the land he was meant to inherit when he was a young man. He had the strength and the fire and the passion to take it then. But the people around him were not ready. They were fearful and they were full of doubt. Because he was tied to them, he had to wander in the wilderness for 40 years. He had to watch a whole generation complain and give up. He had to walk in circles in the desert dust when he knew he was meant for the high ground. Imagine the frustration he must have felt. Imagine the days turn into weeks and the weeks turn into decades. He saw his hair turn gray. He saw the lines deepen on his face. Most people would have become bitter. Most people would have given up on the dream and settled for the sand. But Caleb was different. He understood that the delay was not a denial. He kept his spirit young even while his body aged. He understood that the wilderness was teaching him patience. It was teaching him how to rely on something greater than his own physical strength. When he finally stood at the foot of his mountain at 85 years old, he declared that he was just as strong as he was the day he first saw it. You are in that same lineage. You are a modern Caleb. You feel like you have been walking in circles while lesser people seem to get ahead. You have watched people with half your integrity and half your talent seem to succeed while you remain hidden. But you must realize that what they are building is made of sand. It washes away with the first tide. What you are building is made of stone. It takes longer to lay the foundation of a stone fortress than it does to pitch a tent. The delay you have experienced is simply the time it took for your character to catch up to your calling. The people who think you are naive do not understand this timeline. They are living for the moment. They want the quick win and the instant gratification. They manipulate because they are terrified that there is not enough to go around. They lie because they do not believe they are enough on their own. When they look at you, they see someone who is not playing their game. They interpret your refusal to manipulate as a lack of intelligence. They think you don't know how to play dirty. They don't realize that you know exactly how to play dirty, but you have chosen not to. That is a massive difference. That is the definition of meekness. Meekness is not weakness. Meekness is having a sword at your hip and knowing how to use it but choosing to keep it sheathed. You are dangerous, but you are disciplined. That is why the atmosphere shifts when you walk into the room. Their spirits recognize your authority even if their minds do not. They feel uncomfortable around you because your silence acts as a mirror. When you do not engage in their gossip or their petty games, they are forced to sit in the silence with their own demons. They project their insecurity onto you and call you naive because it makes them feel superior. Let them have that temporary comfort. You do not need their validation because you are playing for a much higher prize. You are entering a season where the years of sacrifice are about to pay dividends. The wisdom you have gathered is about to become your greatest asset. You can spot a liar from a mile away now. You can sense a bad business deal before the contract is even written. You can feel when a person is approaching you with a hidden agenda. This is not paranoia. This is the spiritual intelligence you earned during your years in the wilderness. If you had been given this level of favor 20 years ago, it might have destroyed you. You might have been arrogant. You might have used your influence to hurt people. You might have been just like the people you are now dealing with. But the waiting has humbled you. The pain has softened your heart while it hardened your resolve. You now possess the rare combination of a soft heart and a thick skin. You can love people without needing them. You can serve people without being used by them. You can lead people without controlling them. This is the state of the true chosen one. You are no longer looking for a seat at their table. You are building your own table. The silence you keep is not the silence of a fool. It is the silence of a master strategist who is waiting for the perfect moment to move. You are observing, you are calculating, you are waiting on divine timing. And when you finally move, it will not be with noise and drama. It will be with the quiet, undeniable force of a destiny that can no longer be denied. You are ready for your mountains. Chosen one, everything around you is currently in a state of motion. You can feel it in your gut even if you cannot yet see the full picture with your eyes. For a long time, it felt like your life was stagnant. It felt like you were pushing against a heavy door that refused to budge. But now the atmosphere has changed. The stagnation is breaking. The heaviness is lifting. You are in the middle of a massive transition that is rearranging the furniture of your life. This is not happening to punish you. It is happening to position you. There are 5 specific shifts taking place in your environment right now, and you need to recognize them so you do not fall into fear. The first shift you are experiencing is a sudden and undeniable disconnection from people you have known for years. This is one of the most painful parts of the process. You are noticing that conversations with old friends feel different now. The interactions that used to bring you joy now leave you feeling drained and empty. You find yourself sitting across from people you have loved for decades and realizing that you have nothing in common with them anymore. You are speaking a language of growth, and they are speaking a language of gossip. You are looking at the future, and they are obsessed with the past. They think you are pulling away because you are arrogant or because you think you are better than them. They do not understand that your spirit has outgrown the container of that friendship. You are not judging them. You are simply starving for depth, and they only have surface-level sustenance to offer. The second shift is the exposure of hidden intentions. For a long time, you gave people the benefit of the doubt. You ignored the little red flags because you wanted to believe in the goodness of those around you. But right now, the lights are being turned up in your life. God is revealing the hearts of the people in your circle. You are starting to see the jealousy that was hiding behind a compliment. You are starting to hear the resentment in their jokes. You are realizing that some people were only clapping for you because they wanted to be close to your light so they could steal some of it for themselves. This exposure is painful because it often involves people you trusted. But do not close your eyes to it. Do not pretend you do not see it. This revelation is a gift. It is clearing the path so that you do not take enemies with you into your next season of blessing. The third shift is the closing of doors that you used to rely on. This is happening in your career and in your financial life. There are sources of income or professional connections that used to flow easily but have suddenly dried up. You might feel panicked by this. You might feel like you are doing something wrong. But you must understand that this is a divine redirection. You are getting too comfortable in a place that was too small for you. If those doors had stayed open, you would have stayed there forever. You would have settled for good enough instead of reaching for greatness. The universe is making you uncomfortable so that you are forced to move. You are being pushed out of the nest because it is time for you to fly. Do not bang on the closed doors. Do not beg for access to places that have rejected you. The rejection is your protection. The fourth shift is a new ability to set boundaries without guilt. This is a massive internal change that is affecting your external environment. In the past, you would say yes when you wanted to say no. You would overextend yourself to make others happy. You would apologize for taking up space. But lately, you are finding a new steel in your spine. You are saying no, and you are not offering a long explanation. You are prioritizing your own peace over their comfort. This is confusing the people around you. They are used to the version of you that was a doormat. They are used to the version of you that was easy to manipulate. When you set a boundary, they act like you are attacking them. They call you selfish. They call you cold. But you know the truth. You are not being cold. You are being healthy. You are finally treating yourself with the same respect you have always given to others. The fifth and most powerful shift is the arrival of unexpected allies. Just as people are leaving your life, new people are starting to appear. These are not like the friends of your past. These connections feel different. There is an instant recognition of spirit. You do not have to explain yourself to these new people. They understand your language. They value your depth. They do not want anything from you other than your presence. These are the people who are being sent to walk with you into your destiny. They are the ones who will hold up your arms when you are tired. You might only see one or two of them right now. It might start with a chance encounter or a conversation with a stranger that feels profoundly significant. Pay attention to these moments. These are the scouts for the army of support that is coming your way. You are not imagining these things. The landscape of your life is changing because you have changed. You have done the inner work. You have cried the tears. You have walked through the fire. Now the external world is rearranging itself to match the internal reality you have built. The people who think you are naive are looking at your life and seeing chaos. They see the lost friends and the closed doors, and they think you are failing. They think you are losing your grip. They do not realize that you are in the middle of a divine remodel. They look at the construction site and see a mess. You look at the construction site and see the foundation of a palace. Let them talk. Let them speculate. Let them think you are lost. You know exactly where you are. You are standing in the center of God's will, and you are being prepared for a level of favor that they cannot even comprehend. The silence you are keeping right now is not because you are blind to the shifts. It is because you are focused on the destination. You are watching the old world crumble with perfect peace because you can already see the new world rising in the distance. Chosen one, healing is not always a gentle process. We often talk about healing as if it is a soft light or a warm blanket. We imagine it as a time of rest and relaxation. But you know the truth. You know that real healing often feels like breaking. It feels like a bone that was set wrong has to be rebroken so it can finally heal straight. You are in a season where the old wounds are being exposed to the air. You are looking at the scars of your past, and you are realizing that you cannot carry the infection of those old relationships into your new future. This is the part of the journey where things get quiet and sometimes lonely. You are being called to let go of people who have been in your life for years. These are not necessarily bad people. They might be family members who love you in their own broken way. They might be friends who walked with you through difficult times in the past. But just because someone has history with you does not mean they have a future with you. History is about memory, but destiny is about capacity. You are realizing that some of the people around you simply do not have the capacity to go where you are going. God is currently doing a deep work of pruning in your life. If you have ever watched a gardener prune a rose bush or a fruit tree, you know it can look violent. The gardener takes sharp shears and cuts away branches that look perfectly green and healthy to the untrained eye. If the tree could speak, it might ask why it is being hurt. It might scream out that it is being diminished. But the gardener knows something the tree does not. The gardener knows that those branches are sucker branches. They are sucking the life and the nutrients from the main root, but they will never bear any fruit. If they are left alone, they will eventually drain the tree until it is exhausted and barren. You are the tree in this metaphor. For years, you have allowed sucker branches to stay attached to you. You allowed people to drain your energy because you were afraid of hurting their feelings. You allowed them to take your time and your resources because you were afraid of being alone. You thought that if you just gave a little more, they would eventually bloom. But they never did. They just took and took and took. And now God is stepping in as the master gardener. He loves you too much to watch you wither away. He is cutting off the connections that are killing your potential. This is why you feel the separation so intensely right now. It is not because you are mean. It is not because you think you are better than them. It is because you are finally healing from the need to be needed. You are healing from the orphan spirit that made you believe you had to buy people's love with your servitude. You are realizing that your value does not come from how much you can do for others. Your value comes from who you are. And the people who only loved you for what you could do for them have no place in this new chapter. They will look at this pruning process and they will misunderstand it. They will say you have changed. They will say you are acting strange or distant. They will think you are naive for throwing away a 10-year friendship. They will think you are foolish for walking away from a family dynamic that has existed for generations. They do not see the rot at the core of those dynamics. They do not see that you are not burning bridges. You are simply refusing to cross bridges that laid back to your own destruction. You must understand that new growth requires space. You cannot fill a cup that is already full of stagnant water. You have to pour it out first. The emptiness you feel right now is not a void. It is a womb. It is the space where your new life is being formed. God is clearing the clutter so that He can bring in the new furniture. He is removing the noise so that you can finally hear His voice. He is removing the people who tolerate you so that He can bring in the people who will celebrate you. This healing process also involves forgiving yourself. You have to forgive the younger version of you who allowed the disrespect. You have to forgive the version of you who stayed too long. You have to forgive the version of you who gave pearls to swine. You did the best you could with the level of awareness you had at the time. You were seeking love. You were seeking connection. You were trying to be a good person. There is no shame in that. But now you know better. And because you know better, you must do better. Do not let the guilt trip you up. The enemy will try to use your own empathy against you. He will whisper that you are being selfish. He will remind you of the good times you had with those people. He will try to make you doubt your decision to pull away. Stand firm in your conviction. Remind yourself that you are not responsible for their emotions. You are only responsible for your own obedience. If God is telling you to move, you must move. If God is telling you to be silent, you must be silent. The path of the chosen one gets narrower the higher you climb. At the bottom of the mountain, there is room for everyone. The crowds are there and the party is there. But as you ascend toward the peak, the path becomes a single track. There is no room for baggage on the high ground. There is no room for drama. There is no room for people who want to drag you back down to the valley. You have to travel light. This is why the pruning is happening now. God is lightening your load because He knows the incline is about to get steep. So let the tears flow if you need to. Grieve the loss of what was. It is okay to miss people and still know that they cannot come with you. It is okay to love them from a distance, but do not turn back. Do not try to glue the branches back onto the tree. Let them fall. Let them go. Trust that the gardener knows exactly what he is doing. He is preparing you for a harvest that is greater than anything you have ever seen. He is making you strong. He is making you whole. And He is making room for the people who will love you exactly as you deserve to be loved. Chosen one, you are standing on the precipice of a season that will defy all your previous logic. For years, you have felt like you were moving in slow motion while the rest of the world was speeding by. You watched people with less integrity and less talent seem to skyrocket to success. You watched them build lives that looked shiny and perfect on the outside. Meanwhile, you felt like you were digging a hole in the dirt. You were working hard and you were praying and you were staying faithful, but the external results seemed minimal. It felt like you were stuck in a holding pattern. It felt like God had forgotten your address. But I am here to tell you that the holding pattern is broken. You are about to enter a time of supernatural acceleration. The reason it felt like you were being held back was not because you were being punished. It was because you were being pulled back. Think of an arrow resting in a bow. If you want the arrow to fly with power and precision, you cannot just throw it. You have to pull it back. You have to create tension. The further back the arrow is pulled, the more distance it will cover when it is finally released. You have been in the pulling back phase. The tension you felt was the potential energy building up in your spirit. The resistance you faced was necessary to create the momentum you are about to experience. The people who called you naive did not understand this principle. They saw you standing still and they assumed you were stagnant. They did not see the tension building. They did not see that God was aiming you at a target that is so high they cannot even see it from where they are standing. They were content to throw their arrows by hand and land a few feet away. You were willing to endure the tension of the bow because you are destined to hit a mark that is miles away. You must understand that the speed at which you are about to move will be disorienting if you are not prepared. Things that used to take you 10 years to accomplish might happen in 10 months. Connections that you have been trying to make for decades might happen in a single phone call. This is the season where the plowman overtakes the reaper. This means that the harvest will come so fast you will still be planting the seeds for the next crop when the first one comes in. This is the reward for your endurance. This is the payment for all those nights you chose to trust God when nothing made sense. But there is a very specific reason why you had to wait this long. It is not just about timing, it is about weight. The blessing that is coming into your life is heavy. It carries the weight of influence and the weight of responsibility. If you had received this blessing 10 years ago, it would have crushed you. You did not have the spiritual muscle to carry it. You did not have the emotional maturity to handle the pressure. God loves you too much to give you a blessing that would destroy you. He had to build your structure first. Think about a skyscraper. If you want to build a small shed, you can lay the foundation in an afternoon. You can put up the walls the next day. It is quick and it is easy. But if you want to build a tower that touches the clouds, you have to spend months or even years digging a deep hole. You have to drive piles deep into the bedrock. To the casual observer, it looks like nothing is happening. In fact, it looks like you are going backward because all you are doing is digging a hole. The people around you were building their sheds and laughing at your hole. They thought you were foolish for working so hard with nothing to show for it. But now the foundation is set. Now the concrete has cured. You are ready to rise. And because your foundation is so deep, you will be able to go higher than anyone expected. The people who built their lives on the surface will watch in amazement as you ascend. They will wonder how you became an overnight success. They will not know about the years of digging. They will not know about the tears you cried into the dirt while you were working in the dark. They will call it luck. You will know it is preparation. This rapid progress is going to require a new level of focus from you. You cannot be distracted by the changing scenery. You cannot look back at the people who are still sitting on the ground. You have to keep your eyes fixed on the path ahead. The momentum is going to be intense. You will find doors opening that you did not even knock on. You will find resources appearing before you even ask for them. This is the favor that follows the wilderness. This is the banquet table that is set in the presence of your enemies. Do not apologize for this speed. Do not slow down to make other people comfortable. You have paid the price for this ticket. You have earned this flight. The time for explaining yourself is over. The time for dimming your light is finished. You are stepping into the fullness of your calling. The wait was long and the night was dark, but the morning has finally broken. You are not naive and you never were. You were simply under construction. And now the world is about to see exactly what God was building all along. Chosen one, let us speak about the art of moving in silence. You have likely spent the majority of your life being an open book. You have worn your heart on your sleeve because you believed that transparency would build trust. You thought that if you showed people your wounds, they would be careful with them. You thought that if you shared your dreams, they would cheer for you. But experience has taught you a hard lesson. It has taught you that not everyone who asks for information is entitled to an answer. It has taught you that information is currency, and some people are only collecting it to use against you later. The most practical guidance I can give you in this season is to close your mouth and open your eyes. This is not about being secretive or deceptive. It is about being a good steward of the vision God has given you. When you announce your next move before you make it, you are giving the enemy a chance to set a trap. You are allowing the negative energy of jealous people to attach itself to your plans before they even have a chance to take root. You must learn to build in the dark so that you can shine in the light. Think of a seed that is planted in the ground. It does its most important work in absolute darkness. It breaks open and sends down roots and pushes up through the heavy soil, all while being hidden from the world. If you were to dig up that seed every day to show people how much it was growing, you would kill it. Your dreams are like that seed. Your healing is like that seed. It needs the protection of the soil. It needs the privacy of the dark. Stop digging up your own seeds just to prove to people that you are growing. Let the fruit be the proof. You must also understand the vital importance of discernment. Discernment is not the same thing as judgment. Judgment is looking at someone and condemning them. Discernment is looking at someone and recognizing that their spirit does not align with yours. It is a survival mechanism. It is the spiritual alarm system that God installed in your gut. For years, you have tried to override this alarm. You told yourself you were being too critical. You told yourself to just be nice. But being nice at the expense of your own safety is not a virtue. It is a lack of boundaries. In this new season, you must trust that first flash of intuition. When you meet someone and your stomach tightens, pay attention. When you walk into a room and you feel the need to leave, pay attention. Your spirit knows things that your mind has not yet processed. The people who think you are naive are counting on you to ignore these signals. They are counting on your social conditioning. They know you have been trained to be polite and to make people feel comfortable. They use your politeness as a weapon against you. They push your boundaries just a little bit to see if you will push back. When you stay silent and smile, they think they have fooled you. But this is where your strategy changes. Instead of reacting, you are going to respond with strategic silence. When someone makes a passive-aggressive comment, do not argue with them. Simply look at them and say nothing. Let their words hang in the air. Let the silence become heavy. You will see them start to squirm. You will see them try to fill the silence with nervous laughter or backpedaling. Your silence acts as a mirror that reflects their own behavior back to them. It is the most powerful way to protect your peace because it refuses to give them the reaction they are feeding on. You need to visualize your peace as a fortified city. In ancient times, a city without walls was vulnerable to every attack. Anyone could walk in and take what they wanted. For a long time, you lived like a city without walls. You let anyone walk in and camp out in your mind. You let their drama become your drama. You let their crisis become your emergency. But now you are building walls. You are setting gates. You are checking the credentials of everyone who wants to enter your mental and emotional space. This means you are no longer available for one-sided conversations. You are no longer available to be the emotional dumping ground for people who refuse to seek healing. When the phone rings and you see that name, you do not have to answer. You can love them from a distance. You can pray for them without inviting them into your sanctuary. This is not coldness. This is wisdom. You are preserving your energy for the assignment on your life. There is a shift happening in your spirit where you are realizing that you do not need to have the last word. You do not need to prove them wrong. You do not need to explain your side of the story. The truth fights for itself. While they are busy gossiping and spinning narratives, you are busy leveling up. While they are obsessed with watching you, you are obsessed with your purpose. This is the ultimate power move. It renders their tactics useless because you are not playing the same game. Protecting your peace also means being careful about who you allow to lay hands on you and who you allow to speak into your life. Not everyone who quotes scripture is speaking from the Holy Spirit. Not everyone who calls themselves a mentor has your best interests at heart. You have to test the spirits. You have to look at the fruit of their lives. If their life is full of chaos and confusion, they cannot lead you to peace. If their children resent them and their spouse fears them, they cannot teach you about love. Be very selective about whose advice you digest. You are walking into a time where your clarity will be your greatest asset. The fog is lifting. You can see the chessboard clearly now. You can see the traps before you step in them. You can see the fake smiles and the hidden daggers. Do not be afraid of this sight. Do not wish for the ignorance of the past. Embrace this sharp vision. It is a gift from God to ensure that you make it to the finish line. So let them call you naive. Let them think you are clueless. Let them underestimate you. It is better to be underestimated than to be a target. Walk softly, keep your counsel, guard your heart, and let God reveal the truth in His perfect timing. You are a chosen one, and your vindication will not come from your arguments. It will come from your elevation. Chosen one of the greatest lies the enemy whispers to you in the middle of the night is that it is too late. You look at the calendar, and you look at the gray hairs appearing in the mirror. You do the math on the years you spent in dead-end relationships or unfulfilling jobs. You calculate the energy you poured into people who walked away without a backward glance. It is easy to feel a sense of grief. It is easy to feel like you have been robbed. You wonder if you have enough time left to build something meaningful. You wonder if you have enough strength left to leave a mark on this world. You look at the empty chairs at your table and the empty space in your bank account, and you feel the weight of lost years. But I am here to tell you that in the spiritual realm, time does not work the way it works on a clock. There is a divine principle of restoration that overrides the natural laws of time. There is a promise that says the years the locusts have eaten will be restored to you. This means that God can do more in 1 year of your obedience than you could do in 20 years of your own striving. You are not starting over from scratch. You are starting over with experience. You are starting over with wisdom. The energy you think was wasted was actually an investment in your character. You are learning what not to do so that when the right doors open, you will know exactly how to walk through them. This is not just about you. This has never been just about you. The reason the opposition against you has been so fierce is because of what you carry in your bloodline. The enemy was never scared of you being successful in a worldly sense. He was scared of you breaking the generational curses that have plagued your family for decades. You are the cycle breaker. You are the one who looked at the dysfunction and the addiction and the trauma and said it stops with me. You are the one who decided that your children and your grandchildren would have a different starting line than you had. When you set boundaries and when you choose to heal, you are doing spiritual surgery on your entire lineage. Your children are watching you. Even if they are grown and out of the house, they are watching. They are seeing a parent who refuses to be a victim. They are seeing a parent who values their own peace. This is the greatest inheritance you can leave them. It is not just money or property. It is the blueprint for a healthy spiritual life. The people who think you are naive do not understand this mission. They think you are just being difficult. They do not realize you are fighting for the soul of your family. They look at your choices and they shake their heads. They think you are burning bridges that you might need later. They think you are being selfish for prioritizing your mental health, but what they call selfishness is actually stewardship. You are stewarding the emotional inheritance of the next generation. You are making sure that the trauma stops running through your veins so it does not pass into theirs. This is the work of a warrior. It is the work of a matriarch or a patriarch who sees the long game. You are willing to be misunderstood by your peers so that you can be honored by your descendants. Do not let your age discourage you. In the kingdom of God, the afternoon sun is often the brightest. Moses was 80 when he started his true mission. Abraham was an old man when he received his promise. Your life is not a decline. It is a crescendo. The first half of your life was the gathering phase where you gathered lessons and scars and strength. The second half is the distribution phase where you pour out that wisdom to the world and to your family. You are entering your prime years of spiritual authority. The restoration is coming. It is coming in the form of restored relationships with your children. It is coming in the form of new energy that you thought was gone forever. It is coming in the form of opportunities that fit you perfectly. You have not lost time. You have simply been in a very long and difficult training camp. And now you are graduating. The badge of the chosen one is not a badge of ease. It is a badge of honor. Wear it well. Your legacy is secure because it is built on the rock of truth, and no storm can wash that away. You are reclaiming the territory that was stolen from your family. Every time you speak the truth, you are taking back ground. Every time you refuse to engage in toxic behavior, you are building a fortress for your children. The people who call you naive are living for the moment, but you are living for a legacy. They are fighting for scraps at the table while you are building a new table for generations to come. Trust the process of restoration. The best days of your life are not behind you. They are waiting for you right now. Chosen one, we have walked through some heavy truths today. We have looked behind the curtain and seen the reality of the people who have been draining your spirit. It is not an easy thing to admit that people you loved and trusted did not have your best interests at heart. It is a painful realization that leaves a bruise on your soul. But as we come to the end of this message, I want you to feel a deep sense of peace settling over you. The confusion is gone. The gaslighting no longer works on you. You have the one thing that the enemy tried so hard to keep from you. You have the truth, and the truth has finally set you free. You can now walk into any room and stand tall. You do not need to lower your head or shrink back in the presence of people who do not value you. You know who you are. You are a vessel of light in a world that is becoming increasingly dark. The people who call you naive are simply unable to comprehend a heart that chooses love over hate. They cannot understand a mind that chooses peace over conflict. They are operating from a place of survival and scarcity, while you are operating from a place of abundance and grace. They are fighting for crumbs while you are seated at the banquet table of the Most High. Do not let their limited perception become your reality. Just because they cannot see your crown does not mean you are not wearing one. Just because they mistake your silence for ignorance does not mean you are not wise. In fact, your ability to remain silent in the face of disrespect is the ultimate proof of your spiritual maturity. A child reacts to everything. A king or a queen only responds to what is worthy of their attention. You have graduated from the playground of petty drama. You are now walking in the corridors of destiny. As you move forward from this moment, you will find that your circle gets smaller. Do not be afraid of this. The small circle is a sign of concentration and power. Jesus had 12 disciples, and even among them he had only 3 who saw his true glory on the mountaintop. You do not need a crowd to validate your calling. You only need a few genuine souls who can run at your pace. The people who are falling away are simply making room for the divine connections that are coming your way. You are entering a season where your discernment will be razor sharp. You will know in an instant who is for you and who is against you. You will no longer waste years on dead-end relationships. You will no longer cast your pearls before swine. You will guard your energy like the precious resource that it is. This is not because you are bitter. It is because you are valuable. You finally understand that you are the prize. You are the one who brings the blessing into the room. You are the one who shifts the atmosphere. Take a deep breath and let go of the need to explain yourself. Let go of the need to be understood by people who are committed to misunderstanding you. Their opinion of you is none of your business. Their narrative about you is not your story. You are writing a new story now. It is a story of triumph. It is a story of a warrior who went through the fire and came out without the smell of smoke. It is a story of a chosen one who refused to become bitter and instead became better. The peace you are looking for is already inside you. It has been waiting for you to stop fighting the wrong battles. Now that you have laid down your sword against the people who do not matter, you can use your strength to build the life you deserve. You are going to build a legacy of love and integrity. You are going to break the chains that held your ancestors bound. You are going to show your children and your grandchildren what it looks like to walk with God. So hold your head high. Walk with the quiet confidence of someone who knows the end of the story. You win. You have already won. The battle was fixed in your favor before you even stepped onto the field. The enemy thought he could break you by isolating you. He did not realize that in the isolation you would find your true identity. He thought he could destroy you with silence. He did not realize that in the silence you would hear the voice of God. You are not naive, you are chosen. You are not weak, you are meek. You are not alone, you are set apart. There is a massive difference and you know it in your bones. Let them think what they want. Let them talk. Let them scheme. None of it can touch you now. You are covered by a protection that is ancient and unbreakable. You are walking in a favor that opens doors no man can shut. I want to leave you with this final blessing. May your eyes remain open to the truth even when it hurts. May your heart remain soft enough to love, but strong enough to set boundaries. May your feet walk away from anything that does not serve your soul. May your spirit be refreshed and restored after the long years of battle. And may you always remember that the silence of the chosen one is the loudest sound in the spiritual realm. You are seen, you are known, you are loved. Go in peace and walk in your power. Type Amen in the comments below.